Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. Okay, I have to admit, I'm really looking forward to this eclipse. The lunar eclipse that is coming in just a few days on April 8th, 2024. Okay, I was not going to make a video about this, but a few people have been asking me questions about it, and a guy that works at a store I go to is like, Mike, what's going to happen? Awesome. That's what's going to happen. Okay, so for me personally, this is going to be a great thing. All I see is brightness, light, free energy. It just feels good. A lot of energy, lots of feel good, very bright light, lots of truth, just lots of goodness. It's almost like somebody finally opened the gate. Like it's just this happy, it's like a happy, relaxed excitement. It's like finally. It's refreshing. It's enlightening. It's you know what it is? It's like somebody finally turned on the light. Not the regular light, the bright lights. And for those who are trying to hide in the darkness, uh-oh. The lights just went on. Somebody posted something online that said 2024 is the year of, oh god, it wasn't revealing, but that was another one. 2024 is the year of revealing. It was the year of justice. Personally, I would not be surprised if a lot of people wake up suddenly. I would not be surprised. Oh, and they kind of freak out about that. So they might freak out. I'm not going to freak out. I'm already awake. I'm wide open. I've been opening up more and more and more. I'm sure it'll open me up even more though. Like, okay. But I think for those people who've been holding onto the curtains, trying to keep everything closed and dark, I think this is going to really... It's like God's going to reach down and grab those curtains and just rip them right off. For those of you who are light workers, energy healers, and healers, this is going to be the time. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to start reaching out. We should call it April 8th, 2024, the solar eclipse, the Great Awakening. I think for us, for many of us, especially if you're a good-hearted person, I think this is the day, the month, the year of what we've been waiting for thousands and thousands of years. I think this lunar eclipse is going to signal the day, the opening of the age of Aquarius, where we are fully in it. So we've been going through the tunnel, a transition from the age of Pisces from about 2012 to essentially, I believe this week, April 8th. It's like you're going from one age and going through a tunnel, trying to get the next one, and it's chaotic, it's horrible, it's painful, and then it's like, we finally got through the door. Transitioning from one age to the next is a really, really painful. It's like going through the birth canal. It's a very painful, stressful, exhausting experience, and that's essentially what we've been through. So I just Googled something, it popped up. It says it's like an end of a chapter and a breakthrough that brings closure, release, and celebration. It's like opening a door to the next chapter. Now, here's what's going on in the skies. We just went into Mercury retrograde. In fact, I'm going to double check that right now. Yes, we just entered Mercury retrograde I think it was a couple days ago, and it ends on the 25th of this month. Now, here's another interesting thing. The Devil's Comet has now entered our space where we can see it just as the sun goes down. So you will see it just above the horizon for the next, I think, 3 or 4 more days till about the 8th, maybe just the 5th, so we'll see. And now we have the lunar eclipse. So there's a lot of energy that's shifting right now, and don't think of the Devil's Comet as a bad thing. And on the same day, April 8th of the solar eclipse, there's a new moon. Okay, here's how I want to say it. So people ask me, well, what do you think? I'm like, well, for me, it's going to be awesome. For people that have been hiding in the darkness, that have been doing bad things, I think it's the age of revealing. I think it's the age of light. Because remember, Pisces is the age of, I'm going to call it the age of darkness. That's not the right word, but it's like, you're underwater, things are murky. It's the indirect, hidden kind of way of doing things. It's not exactly up front, okay? So humans are coming out of the dark ages right now. We are just now it's literally like the lights are starting to be turned on, and people are seeing like, wait, what is our government doing? What's going on here? It's like it's been this way for a long time. This isn't new. You're just now seeing it. So for the people who have been, what's the word? Operating underneath the darkness, you're getting revealed now, and that's what the year 2024 is all about. There's going to be a huge shift. It's going to be so for those people, this is not going to be good. So one thing I wanted to say, if I were to say go back or look up the people that have done me wrong, especially the narcissist, I would say, all the karma, all the painful experiences you've been going through the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever, that had nothing to do with me. It starts April 8th. So you thought it was bad the last 3, 4 years? Oh no. Oh no. See, what you did to me hasn't begun yet. Are you ready? Because here it comes. It's going to be way, way, way worse than what you've been going through the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. It's going to hit you like a hurricane. It's going to knock you down like an earthquake. You watch. Oh, and it's not going to last for 2, 3 weeks. It's going to last. So for me, it's like I said, it's like this bright light, this wonderful, refreshing. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be this amazing experience. And for a lot of you on my channel, it's going to be the same thing. But for them, oh no, it's going to be the complete opposite. It's almost like get your by the way, I've actually went and bought some popcorn because it's going to be popcorn time. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to watch the show. It may actually become really chaotic. In fact, for those people who are on that side, they know it's going to be chaotic. They know chaos is coming. All right, let me read this off to you here. Let me pull it up. So this person says, Kim says, and so it is. Every karmic will be eclipsed and served their own karma and fate. 4/8/24. Thank you, God and universe, for guidance, justice, and turning the tables on my enemy. That is what's going to happen. All right, let me read a couple more here. Says judgment season is in full effect. Says good. It's effing time. Good. Their effing time has run long enough. Yeah, there's a lot more on here, but kind of gives you an idea. Do you know what season it is? Vengeance shall be mine, saith the Lord. That's the season. Let me remind you of something about narcissists. This is their lifelong profession. This is their lifelong passion. They study it. They practice it. They learn it. They learn hypnotic techniques, by the way. They learn psychology techniques. They are not oblivious. They are not dumb. They teach it to each other. They talk to, here's how I manipulated so-and-so, now what you got to do. And they give tips and tricks to each other. They know exactly what they're doing, including the part called pulling the wool over your eyes. They are experts at making sure that you believe, oh, I didn't realize I was doing that. I didn't know what I was doing. Yes, they do. They've always known. They've always known since they were a child. When Jesus said, "Forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they're doing," he's not talking about the narcissists. He's not talking about the leaders. He is not talking about these people that lead the masses into doing horrible things. It's the masses that Jesus was talking about. Forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. Not the narcissists, not the demons. They know exactly, precisely, professionally what they're doing. And they also know that you don't. And that's what they're relying on. God has given them over 2,000 years to repent. This is who the Lord is talking to. Repent. Turn away from your ways. And they won't. They never will. So the ultimate punishment is here. Now, there's something that's called a nominalization. Sorry, I slurred that. Nominalization. N-O-M. I forgot how to spell it. Funny thing, I typed it right up. I can do it when I type, but not when I visualize. So nominalization is N-O-M-I-N-A-L-I-Z-A-T-I-O-N. Nominalization. A nominalization is a verb or adjective that functions as a noun, okay? So, let's see. Yeah, I don't like the way they do it. Okay, so the verbs state and assume, for example, as nominalizations, the verbs state and assume become the noun, statement, and assumption. Words that end in M-E-N-T-I-O-N, E-N-C-E, A-N-C-I-T-Y, E-N-T, A-N-T, and A-N-C-Y. So let me give you an example. A house is a noun. It's a person, place, or thing. That is a noun. You can take a noun and put it into a wheelbarrow. Like dirt is something that it's a thing, okay? A car, a wheel, you can put it into a wheelbarrow. But a verb, run, fast, etc., you can't put that into a wheelbarrow because it's not a thing. So one of the things we're taught in NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, is nominalizations, because the reason why a lot of people get stuck in life is because they feel like they're this thing, this nominalization. So our job is to turn that noun or that nominalization back into an action word, back into a verb, which it actually is. So when you turn it back into a verb, all of a sudden the issues, the emotional pain, etc., goes away. The ultimate example is something the church and church people do, and they're completely, totally, 100% wrong for doing this. It's the word sinner. There's no such thing as a sinner. So here's what they've done. They took a verb, an action, to sin. I sinned. I did this thing. I did this action, I should say. And then they said, how do we make that stick? Oh, I know. Let's turn it into a nominalization and now we're going to tell them, now listen closely, that they are a sinner, a house, an object, a car. You are not a car. You are not a house. You are not a doorknob. You are not a doorbell. You are not a window. You are not a freaking sinner. Now, you may have sinned. You may have done something bad or wrong or against the word of the Lord, or however you want to put it. But you are not that thing. But if they... Okay, watch this. Now, I've told you this before. This is how your unconscious mind works. If they can convince you that you are this thing, your unconscious mind goes, oh, okay, so I'm an idiot, therefore I do dumb things, and therefore you just start doing dumb things. I'm telling you, because I used to feel really ashamed of myself and all this, oh, you're a bad person, you're no good, you're this thing, right? And, like, listen, you are no what? Good. You're not this. So when your unconscious mind starts to accept that you're a bad person, this and that, it starts to go, oh, okay, so that's what we are? Okay, so it starts to do these. That's how the unconscious mind works. It's an obedient servant. It just does whatever you show it. It goes, oh, I'm an idiot? I'm a dumbass? Oh, okay. So one of the things we're taught is to change that back into, okay, well, you may have done something that was stupid, or you made a mistake, or you did this action of dropping the glass with the water in it or whatever, but that doesn't mean you're a nominalization / noun. You don't suddenly become a statue of idiot or a statue of dumbass or a statue of sinner. It's a non-reality. There's no, like, there's a bridge. Look at the bridge. That bridge is real, but the cars are moving across the bridge. You can't take the moving and turn it into this solid object that doesn't move. So you may have sinned, which is a really, how to explain this? That is a really misunderstood word. A lot of people think, oh, you had sex outside of marriage, therefore you're a sinner. No, you did an action. That doesn't make you this nominalization. Pastor Rex a lot, multiple times throughout the year, would bring up the word sin, and he would bring up the phrase the ultimate sin. The ultimate sin is closing that artery in your lower reptilian brain, okay? So if they can convince you that you are a sinner, that artery stays closed, and therefore you're operating off of the lower reptilian brain, which is the fight or flight, instinctual, sexual, animalistic, etc. brain, and therefore you're going to be operating off of that, and you're going to be doing things that people probably won't like. Number one, it does not mean you're a sinner. Number two, I believe a lot of things that people call sin are not sins at all. Not even close to. It's not even in the definition of what a sin is. They just, look, okay, watch this. So a lot of you, honest to God, don't you? You feel like when you have sex, regardless of, even if you're married and been married for years, you feel like, oh, I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something naughty. I'm doing something bad. And yet sex is one of the most beautiful things that God created for mankind. There's a picture that my coaches used to have when I had won this tournament. I think it was the subsection tournament. Had my hand raised up, but I was looking down at the ground, feeling very guilty, feeling extremely ashamed. No, not because I did something wrong. In fact, my kickboxing coach, him and some of the fighters, they called me the White Knight. And I'm like, well, why the White Knight? They're like, because you're so honorable. You never cheat. You never try to hurt people. You never try to break the rules. You never try to do something illegal that could hurt your opponent. You're always looking out for your opponent's safety. And I was very much that way in wrestling also. I didn't want to hurt my opponent, and I didn't want to hurt the people that I practiced with either. So that was one of my main top priorities. My purpose for sharing all that, and yet here I am working my ass off for years and years to finally get to the point where I can win league and win subsections. And when they took a picture of me, I looked, I don't know the word. I looked very sad. I looked defeated. I looked exactly how they taught me to look. You shouldn't be proud. You should not be happy of your accomplishments. You should not enjoy this. You should hang your head low and be ashamed of yourself. And that's exactly what that picture looked like. You know what I wanted to do inside? I wanted to jump for joy. I wanted to smile. I wanted to look over at my coaches, beaming with happiness and pride. But I knew if I did that, I would be punished. I wanted to run over there and hug them. I wanted to hug my teammates. I wanted to hug my girlfriend. But I knew if I did that, I would definitely be punished. Not just for a day, but for the rest of the school year. I mean, who does that guy think he is, jumping up and for joy? I mean, so what if he worked 3.5 years to finally accomplish that goal? So what if he did it within the rules? So what if he didn't cheat? So what if he didn't hurt any of his opponents? I mean, who does he think he is? They have convinced you that happiness, joy, hard work, beauty, beautiful things, the act of love is bad. It's sinful. How dare you? They have connected punishment, guilt, fear, shame, feeling bad about doing good in all aspects of your life. Fear not, the ultimate Uno Reverso card is here. Solar eclipse, April 8th, 2024. The Reverso Uno card is going into effect really soon. See, when I work with people, this is what I do. What do you think all of my videos have been about for the last 2.5, 3, maybe even 3.5 years? It's about rewiring and reconnecting you to, wait a minute, making love is a good thing? It's a very good thing. It's a very beautiful thing. You mean I can smile if I win something that I worked hard for? Absolutely. You can also, I know it's going to sound shocking, hold your head high. But Mike, the narcissists, the people who are failures, who are negative, and they just don't, that's not fair. They don't want you to be happy. Well, too bad for them. Maybe they need to go to therapy. Do you ever think about that? But Mike, those people that work hard and they hold their head high, well, they're just being cocky. No, they're not. They're just holding their head high because they're proud of themselves. That's a very natural, normal, and healthy thing. They've convinced you that when you have what's called, see, there's different pride. There's the negative, arrogant, egotistical pride that comes from your ego, and then there's the one that comes from your open heart. When you're in that closed energy, that's the ego. When you're in the open energy, that's the heart. That's something that where you're beaming from pride, like when your child wins, like you're proud of your baby when it first starts to walk. There's nothing arrogant or egotistical about when your baby takes its first step or says its first words. Give me a break. We have been so loaded full of crapola. They have just anything that's healthy, anything that's loving, anything that's kind, anything that's beautiful, anything that is good, anything that is righteous, they have convinced you and literally rewired by punishing you for it to convince you that, oh, these are all bad things, and therefore when you work hard, that's bad. When you achieve your goals, that's bad. Even literally, when you achieve things, it upsets them and they punish the hell out of you. You didn't do anything wrong, they did. And this is what the year 2024 is about. It's waking you up, the lights are turning on, and people are starting to go, hey, wait a minute, there's nothing wrong with celebrating my victory. I worked damn hard for it. It doesn't mean that I'm being arrogant or egotistical. There's a difference when you're running over to your opponent and putting it in his face and pointing it out and being an asshole. That's arrogant. That's egotistical. But when you want to run over to your coach from your heart of hearts for happiness and joy, and you want to hug them and kiss them and thank them, that's not freaking egotistical. That's love. Life is a celebration. Now celebrate it. So at the very end of the year, we had our wrestling banquet. They hand out the most inspirational awards, the person who had the most takedown awards, the most escapes, and the most points, the most wins, whatever, okay? Believe it or not, you're not going to believe this. But when it was my turn, up on the screen, they had the image of me with my hand raised, winning the subsection championship and my head down. And I remember looking at how sad I looked. I was like, I'm not even enjoying this. And they all smiled. They said, look how humble he is. Look how, isn't that great? They even said, he's a good Christian. And I remember just looking at them like, I'm not allowed to celebrate my victories. I'm not allowed to enjoy my hard work and my effort paying off. This is a bad thing. I remember right there in high school in my senior years looking at everything like, something's not right here. This is not right. And it turns out I was right back then. When you condition an athlete not to enjoy his victories or her victories, when they work hard for the next competition, they're like, why? I don't get to smile. I'm not allowed to. I'm not even allowed to look up. This is what you condition into them. You teach them that, hey, your victories are meaningless. It's empty. It's a big fat zero. You get nothing out of it. And you know what that does? It takes away all the motivation. It's like, well, why am I doing this? Well, to be pious, of course. To be egotistical, of course. To be above others, to tell others that you're egotistical way, and that's exactly what it is. It's being arrogant, it's being egotistical, it's a horrible thing that they're doing. We've learned in psychology, NLP, and hypnosis that you need to enjoy your victories. In fact, you need to celebrate your victories. You need to shout for joy. You need to jump for joy. You need to hug the people that support you, that are happy when you win. When you win, If those people are jumping up and down for joy because they're so happy for you, that's a good friend. If they are not jumping up and down, if they are not running out onto the field to tackle you, to hug you, to kiss you, to celebrate with you, I promise you this, that is your enemy in your camp. Kick them out. Be gone. Only allow those people around you who support you, who verbally support you, who hug you, who emotionally support you, who jump up and down and celebrate right along with you from their heart, from their soul, fully and completely. God bless you guys. This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. If you like this video, click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment. Remember, there's a PayPal donation link right there in the description box. God bless you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.